All right, where to find notes? Again, finding the deal. Direct from banks. Now, you cannot walk into Wells Fargo and say, I want to buy notes from you. That is not going to happen. Though surprisingly enough, if any of you saw my post on the Facebook page, I walked into a bank, I sat down to do a wire transfer. Remember my saying, talk to everybody. And what are you doing? You're buying notes. Oh my gosh. Well, I've got people that I talk to that are distressed every day. Could you help them? Yes, of course I can. I might not be able to buy their note because it's Wells Fargo. But I know a whole lot of fix and flippers that would be able to help them, right? Get out of that distress situation. Talk to everybody. You just never know. We deal also with some smaller regional banks across the country. We can go to them. But very much like anything in real estate investing, it's constant contact. Constantly letting them know you're there. This is what we're doing. Set up an email drip system. Give them a call once a month. Hey, it's Paige Panzarello. We're looking for some notes. Do you have any to sell me this month? Hey, we just bought 5 notes or 10 notes or a note last month. Do you have any to sell? And if you keep contacting them, you're going to be right in front of them. And when they do have notes to sell and they think that you're a legitimate player, they're going to send you a tape. All right, so direct from banks. Again, don't focus on the big banks. Go to your local credit unions. Do they issue mortgages? Yeah. Go to them. Establish a relationship with them. Talk to them. Hey, I'm a note investor. Credit unions. Your local credit unions. Their whole purpose is to do business locally. Hedge funds and syndicates. Okay, well, where do you find those?
Go to
PaperSource. PaperSource. Believe it or not, you can actually, LinkedIn, that's another one. But PaperSource conventions are a great place. Any convention that is focused on buying notes or selling notes or dealing with notes, there will be hedge funds there. Some are bigger, some are smaller. There will also be other note investors there, okay? Note exchanges and auction sites. Okay, so as a new note investor, if you choose not to joint venture with somebody who has been a note investor for a long time, you can go online right now and buy a note. If you don't know what you're doing, you're going to get hurt. Thus, the buyer beware, okay? If you don't know what to look for, if you don't know the questions to ask, you can get hurt. You might get lucky, but don't do it. It's your hard-earned money. Protect it, especially if you're working with other people's money. But there are some that are available, and generally they are hedge funds. We've actually bought from a number of them, not online. We actually get their tapes sent to us, but they do sell some online, and there are some reputable ones out there. Go on Bigger Pockets, ask, has anybody bought notes from so-and-so? What's your experience been? Ask questions. County clerk and recorder's office, what would you look for in the county clerk or recorder's office? Notice of defaults, foreclosures, notice of sale. Liz pendants. Liz pendants generally will only be in judicial foreclosure states. Generally, okay? Sometimes they are in non-judicial foreclosure states, but generally you will find a Liz pendants in a judicial foreclosure state. And then, of course, foreclosure list services. Again, not as productive if you can contact the banks or the hedge fund managers, network with other note investors. By the way, there's also all kinds of different meetup groups that are online. There are note investor meetup groups. There's REI meetup groups that people do invest in notes. Sometimes LA South RIA, that's another one that has actual subgroup for note investors. So take a look at your local RIA meeting, your real estate investor meetings. Those are going to be really important contacts for you as well. Now, this is interesting because what happens, the FDIC will come in. Remember when Joseph was talking about that banks have to have capital reserves when they have debt outstanding, bad debt, they have capital reserves set aside. If a bank has too much outstanding debt and not enough capital reserves, the FDIC will come in take over that bank in receivership and sell it to another bank. That's a lot of bad paper. So if you see, did anybody remember Indy Mac? Indy Mac? That's what happened to Indy Mac. Okay? It's a bank. Yep. So if you see that a bank is being taken over, there's a lot of bad paper. Guide. It's an online publication. They will also let you know about bank seizures, notes where you can buy notes, hedge funds, et cetera, et cetera. Anybody issuing a note, Scotsman Guide will have it as well. Distress Pro also has, now this is a membership-based platform. They have a tremendous library of podcasts that they've done, seminars that they've done, shows that they've hosted, tons of information at Distress Pro. They also have any notes, any banks, contact information for asset managers of those smaller regional banks. It'll give you their, if they have too much outstanding and not enough capital reserves, they're primed to sell off some of that debt. They have all of that information. It's a great resource. Again, hard money lenders. Talk to your hard money lenders. Do you have any notes that are not performing? Do you want to sell them? Right?